Ozempic and weight loss drugs such as Mounjaro are being called game changers for weight loss, but with 82 deaths linked to them, I'm asking the question, are these really a miracle solution or a dangerous gamble with your health? Drugs like Ozempic work by mimicking some of your body's naturally occurring hormones to slow down digestion and to interact with the receptors in your brain to reduce cravings and hunger, which then leads to a natural reduced calorie intake. They're also used as a treatment for blood sugar spikes, which is why they're used as a treatment for diabetes as well. And those blood sugar spikes often go hand in hand with hunger, cravings, and binge eating. Think at that point, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, where your energy levels start to sink, you're feeling a bit hungry, you go for the biscuit cupboard, and one thing leads to another. Well, no need to worry anymore about those pesky binge eating sessions. All you have to do is inject yourself once per week with Ozempic or a drug like Mounjaro, and all of your problems and fat loss will go away. Sounds great, right? Well, let's dig a little bit deeper. When I started digging more into these weight loss drugs, I was coming across some really alarming articles that I wanted to share with you. The first thing I wanted to show you, however, was some of the common side effects of GLP-1 agonists, which are essentially the primary type of drug which is responsible for these weight loss drugs for taking away some of the symptoms of hunger and cravings like I described earlier. Now, all it takes is a quick search on the website of these drugs and we will see that some of the common side effects are pancreatitis, changes in vision, low blood sugar or hypoglycemia, dehydration, severe stomach pain, gallbladder problems, vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. So none of these sound too ideal. Another really important article that I came across, which I referenced at the start of this video, was from the British Medical Journal, which suggested that from February 2025, there had been 82 deaths linked to GLP-1 agonists in the UK alone. However, there was one other article that really struck me. This BBC News article from November 2024 shares the tragic story of nurse Susan McGowan, who died after taking 2 low doses of the weight loss drug Mounjaro. Shortly after taking this drug, she started to notice severe symptoms, and despite going into hospital, doctors were unable to save her life. Her death certificate went on to list multiple organ failure, septic shock, and pancreatitis as the immediate cause of her death, with tirzepatide, which is the main ingredient in Mounjaro, listed as a contributing factor. The article goes on to suggest that while Susan had struggled with weight loss for a number of years and she'd gone through multiple attempts in the past, that despite this, prior to taking Mounjaro, she had never experienced any negative health effects in the past. What this means is we have an example of someone who, of course, could benefit from weight loss from general health reasons and from feeling more confident and feeling more energized. Prior to taking this drug, was not experiencing any adverse effects with their health, however decided to take it to try and help accelerate their fat loss or weight loss journey, and went on to suffer severe complications. Despite this, Dr. Alison Cave, who's the Chief Safety Officer of the Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, said, "On the basis of current evidence, the benefits of GLP-1 agonists outweigh the risks when used for the license indications." So what can we take from tragedies like these? We know that in the UK, 64% of people are considered overweight or obese, and statistics from the government showed that obesity-related illnesses in 2023 cost the NHS approximately £6.5 billion. So there is obviously a huge financial incentive for the government to push for any sort of drug that can potentially give an answer or a solution to that problem. However, given some of the information that we've discussed in this video today, is it something that you should consider taking? My opinion on this is there are actually situations that would support the use of drugs like Ozempic or Mounjaro, and I think if you are someone that falls into the category of being severely obese, perhaps you weigh in excess of 150, 200, even more kilograms, and you just feel like you're in a position where there is no way out. You just don't know what to do, you don't know what to get started, and you are at an immediate risk of adverse health effects from heart disease, potentially stroke, or any number of things that could impact you. Then in a situation such as this, when we're looking at the potential side effects, what can happen, I would probably be weighing that up and saying this is a scenario where actually maybe it is worthwhile taking these drugs. However, if you are someone that, on the other hand, perhaps you've struggled with fat loss for 2, 3, 4 years, you've got somewhere in between 2 to 4 stone to lose, to get back in shape, to feel better about yourself, to feel more confident in the way that you look, to consider taking a drug that even has the most remote chance of very severe and serious complications, to me is absolute insanity. I know from personal experience, having been through my own fat loss transformation, that getting in shape can be very, very hard. It takes a lot of discipline, it takes time, it takes commitment, effort. You have to show up when you don't want to. However, when I'm looking at a risk versus reward basis, if there is even a 1 in 100,000, 1 in 250, 1 in a million chance that I'm going to take this drug and it could lead to my death for something that I am in control of, something I can change personally, to me, in that situation, it just doesn't make sense. And even if the chance is so slim of some of these things happening, and I appreciate that these drugs have been approved and that they are classified as safe for use, but to me, when you're in control of a situation like that, you're not past the point of no return. You're like that tragic case that I talked about of the NHS nurse, Susan, who had perhaps struggled with weight loss, but prior to taking Mounjaro was not experiencing any negative impacts on her health at that stage. Then to me, to consider taking a drug like this, which could then lead to such serious complications, such serious side effects, it just does not seem like a smart choice when you could just decide to take action for yourself. I know that making change is hard, but when you're trying to do this for the goal of improving your health, improving your overall longevity, deciding to take a drug which can lead to such serious issues, that just does not go hand in hand, in my opinion, with your overall goal. When you're in control of this situation, and no matter how hard it is, you are capable of changing it yourself, even if it does mean that the journey takes a bit longer. Something I've learned over the years in my life is that any goal, any target that we have that's worth working towards is generally never easy to accomplish. And when someone comes along and they start selling us a shortcut or an easier path to get there, at that point, alarm bells should start ringing. So if you're someone that feels like you want to make a change without the drugs that have been discussed in this video today, head to the link in my bio, fill out the application form, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about starting your journey.